There's something you wanted to say to someone, and you never said it. Maybe it was anger. Maybe it was an apology. Maybe it was 3 words you've never once said out loud to anyone, not even to yourself, in an empty room. You wrote it down once, in a text, in a note, somewhere only you would find it, and then you didn't send it. You've carried it since, maybe for weeks, maybe for years. Tonight is about that, the thing you wrote and never sent, and what it's actually been doing to you, sitting there, unsaid. There's a message sitting in your drafts folder right now. You know the one. Not the one you sent this morning, the quick one, the running 5 minutes late, or the happy birthday. I mean the other one. The one that's been there for a while now. Weeks, maybe months, maybe longer than you'd want to admit out loud. You've opened it more times than you'd ever tell anyone. Read it back at 11 p.m. when the house went quiet. Edited a word. Deleted a line. Maybe typed the whole thing out fresh once, just to see if it still felt as true as it did the first time you wrote it. And every single time, right before your thumb reaches the send button, something stops you. Your hand just hesitates. And then you lock the phone, and you tell yourself, not now. Maybe tomorrow, maybe when things calm down. Tomorrow comes. It's still there. I want to tell you about a text I never sent either, and I want to tell you what I think is actually happening in that pause, the half second where your thumb is right there, hovering, and something invisible reaches out and pulls your hand back. It was a few years ago for me. Maybe yours is older. Maybe yours is from last week, and the wound's still that fresh. I'd written mine late, the kind of hour where your guard comes down on its own, where you stop performing even for yourself, and you finally let yourself say the thing you'd been swallowing for months without even realizing how heavy it had gotten. 4 lines. That's all it was. 4 lines, and I read them back, and I remember thinking, there it is. That's exactly it. That's the truest thing I've said in months, and I said it to no one, in a text box, at 1 a.m, alone. I sat there with my thumb over the button for what felt like an hour. It was probably 90 seconds, but time does something strange in moments like that. It stretches, like it's giving you one more chance to back out. I backed out. Here's what I didn't understand back then, and what I don't think you fully understand about your own unsent text either, even now, even with it sitting there in your drafts, glowing at you every time you open the app. The fear was never really about what they'd say back. Sit with that for a second, because I think we tell ourselves a different story. We say, I'm waiting for the right moment. I don't want to upset them. I don't want to make things weird. I'm being thoughtful. I'm being careful. And maybe there's a sliver of truth in all of that. But underneath it, something else is happening. As long as that message lives in your drafts folder, unsent, it's still just a feeling. It's still soft. It's still yours. Completely yours. Something you can shape and reshape and never have to defend. The second you send it, it becomes a fact. A thing that exists outside your own head now, sitting in someone else's hands, on someone else's screen, and you don't get to control what they do with it anymore. You can't unwrite it. You can't soften it after the fact. Can't add context once it's already landed. Can't take it back if their face, even just imagined, even just in your mind, does the wrong thing. So we don't send it. We let it sit. We tell ourselves we're being wise, patient, strategic, even. But really, and I say this gently, because I did the exact same thing, we're protecting ourselves from the moment after, not the sending, the after. I want you to think about your text for a second. Not the exact words, the feeling underneath the words. Because here's something I've noticed, both in my own drafts folder and in every story like this anyone's ever told me. Is it really anger? Or is it something quieter, wearing anger's clothes, because anger is easier to justify than the thing it's actually covering? Maybe it hurts. Maybe it's grief that never got to finish. Maybe, and this is the one that catches people off guard the most, maybe it's love. Love that arrived at exactly the wrong time. Too late to be useful. Too late to change anything, and all that's left to do with it now is write it into a text box and stare at it. Think about who it's for. The friend you should have checked on before the silence between you got so long it became its own kind of wall. The person you should have thanked properly before they were gone, or before the relationship changed shape and you never got the chance again. Maybe it's an apology. Years too late now to undo anything, but maybe, just maybe, still capable of meaning something. Even now, even after all this time, you've been carrying yours so carefully, like it might shatter if you set it down somewhere, like saying it, even just to yourself, even just here, alone, in a dark room with no one listening but you, might make it too real to hold. I want you to try something with me, not send it, not yet, just say it, right now, however you can, in your head if you're somewhere you can't speak out loud, or out loud if you're alone in a room, or in your car with the windows up, and no one to hear you but the road. Whatever those lines are, that paragraph, that one sentence you've rewritten 40 different ways, let yourself finish it, all the way through, start to end. No editing this time, no softening it halfway through because it feels too sharp. Just once, let it exist completely, even if only in the air, even if only for the length of one breath. What did that feel like? That thing that just moved through your chest when you said the whole thing, start to finish, without stopping to fix it? That feeling, that's the truth that's been living in your drafts folder this whole time. It was never waiting to be sent. It was waiting to be known by you first, before anyone else ever gets to see it. Maybe you'll send it one day. Maybe you never will, and that's allowed too. That part isn't tonight's decision, and I'm not going to pretend there's one right answer waiting at the end of this. But here's what I do know. The text doesn't have to leave your drafts folder to stop being unspoken. You just spoke it, out loud, or in your head, just now, with me. That counts for more than you might think it does. Some truths need a witness before they need a recipient, and tonight, You were your own witness. And if there's a smaller, truer version of this, you could say to a real person someday, not the whole paragraph, maybe just one honest sentence pulled out from inside it. Let that be the next brave thing, whenever you're ready. Not necessarily tonight. There's no deadline on this. But somewhere down the road, if the moment ever feels right, you'll know. You said it tonight, even if no one else heard it but you. That's not nothing. In fact, for those words, it might be the first time they've existed outside your own head in a very long while. Be gentle with yourself. I'll be here. Same voice, same time, whenever you need it.